Hello, hello, hello. This is a impromptu live. Remove my nasty pillow. What did I do? Like sweated on it or something. I'll wait till I know people are in here because this is impromptu. Why do I always have my ear things on? Like, oh, you know what? Hold on, I forgot my banner. When I see people in here, then I'll start really talking. Oh. That was weird. That was weird. How is everybody's Sunday going? Hey, Kimberly. Happy Sunday. How you doing? I'm going to go outside. You guys are going to travel around with me. We're going to talk. I just put some laundry away, or folded laundry. Now we're going to go out and take a look at my flowers. Softball's on TV. But husband is relaxing. Just got done weed eating. Hey, I'll be Frank. How you doing? Y'all doing well? Hey, Ruby. What's going on? So we're doing a little gardening. We're walking, talking. Look at these, y'all. I'm going to show you these. Isn't this pretty? Can you guys see the purple? I just love it. It's like purple and black is such a cool color. My one hanging basket right there. I'm having a hard time. It's a little droopy, and the petunias, I'm trying to bring it back to life. The problem is petunias don't like cold and rain, if you didn't know that. And I think one night it got a little cold here before it was ready. I put it out too soon. So, but I'm slowly bringing it back to life-ish, kind of. It's just rough. But here's some of my other flowers. So let me tell you, like I've told you guys before, we live in a duplex right now. We're saving up money to try to, hey, Nashville, buy a house. The housing market is really, really rough right now, obviously, as far as I'm pretty particular, and I don't want to spend double what I need to on a house that I only, semi like. So we're trying to save up right now. But I went back to school, which I don't know how I thought that was going to be saving up. But anyways, my whole point of that is we've done what we can, to make a little garden here for me and stuff. So it's a nice Sunday today. But do y'all have a peaceful place at your house that you just like to go and just take a deep breath? Nope. Yep. I'm in upstate near Rochester. So it's really pretty out here today. But then I got this fancy raised garden bed where I get my veggies. I need more. So, it could be worse, right? It's a roof over our head and we do the best we can. And let's see, one kid's on the ground. But the kids have really good neighbor friends that they live. You could see them. I don't know if you can see them. They're all across the street playing kickball, arguing, good things like that. But anyways, wanted to catch up with you guys and just chat for a little bit. I was going to have you weed with me, but then I can't do all that at once because, with my ADD. So I'm going to sit for a second. But I've been thinking about something lately. So, we've been talking a lot about the shooting and stuff, and I've been focused a lot on trying to, dissect other shootings and how it lined up and whatnot. And hold on, let me the air's on, so AC's on. But okay. See, ADD. So we've been trying to go through this shooting and stuff, and lately I've noticed that I've been getting. Hold on, he's coming out. Why is your hood up? Where are you going? To the car? Are you leaving? Leaving me already, huh? Well, it was a good 16 years. What are you doing, babe? Huh? Are you changing the oil? He's getting a fan. I am blessed to have a husband that can change our oil and do that stuff himself. So that's pretty nice. He did rebuild our truck once, but the allergies have been making him really dizzy. So anyways, can you shut that big door so we can keep it cool in there? Okay. I apologize. So I've been having these, I swear, here comes a kid. I've been having these like really bad chest pains. Hey, Rody Gal. And it started like a week ago where it just feels like somebody's like squeezing. And we thought, I did go to the doctors and they do think it's, what's up, babe? Pleurisy. But the other thing I noticed is when we were at church today, I like was full on panicked and I ran downstairs to make sure the church doors downstairs were locked, and like somebody came in late, and I realized I like flipped out, and I realized I just have to be a little cautious studying these cases that I'm studying, like the shootings at the school and the shootings, other things, because I think that has actually been giving me some severe anxiety, and I want to keep talking about it, but I think that's what's like in my chest, that feeling and stuff, and more alert, if that makes sense. So I have to be careful about that. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was in regards to that. Hey, buddy, did you mow the lawn? Hi, sweetie. Oh, hi, honey. I love you.
I did mow the lawn.
You did mow the lawn? I'm not alive, just so you know. Oh, I love you. What you doing now? Resting? You're playing Fortnite? Okay, shut the big door, okay? Because we want to keep it cool in there. He didn't shut the big door. Yeah, Rody Gale, and that's the only thing I can think of. It's like somebody squeezing your chest, and it's just like the anxiety just it's too much. And then my aunt's actually like, I just want to make sure that you're, and Mo, in case, wrote me an email kind of expressing like concern, just make sure that you're, because you don't even realize it can get into your head. Hey, Vicky. So I just need to be conscious. Yeah, something like that. Of what, keeping myself in a good place while I'm doing this. Yeah, Rody Gale, and the I've had, I have had PTSD and stuff, and I think this kind of has alerted it, and then you just get high anxiety, and it's just I got to be careful. And I've also talked to Rob a little bit, and he is still going to come on here at some point when he's ready, and I need to be super sensitive, and he did not, confront me about this or say anything badly about this. But one thing I need to try to remember is that not everybody has the same perspective as everybody else. So, sorry, I gotta shut this door, y'all. Okay, so not all of the victims' families think that something was done wrong. Yeah, Rody Gale. So I want to be very sensitive to making sure I'm not coming across accusatory. I do believe, I didn't realize in some of the articles I went back and read that DPS did say that he hadn't made his way back out in the hallway. Okay, so that has been confirmed that he did make it back out in the hallway. There's a lot of stuff that I think is really shady. That being one. Just every day is something new that we hear. And I do believe, in my personal opinion, there's a lot of things that is very strange. But I've also been reading articles from people within that town saying like that people are getting it wrong. They're blaming the chief of police and that he's a really great guy and he's always been a really big advocate for people. And then we find out that like he never even got the message from DPS that it was still an active shooting case. So I just think that I have to be sensitive overall that not all the families feel like something went wrong. And because I'm going to be quite honest, when I talked to Rob, he said the only thing I saw done wrong was somebody left the door unlocked. Okay, so In my personal opinion, yeah, things were done wrong. Something smells very bad in this whole situation. I don't know what the answer is. I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to do more to bring awareness to the victims and who they are and who they were. Um, I would like to say, you guys, that I know the perfect answer to this, to know how to make it stop, and I really don't. Because we can argue about gun control all day long, and I'm fine if it's talked about, whatever. But I don't know if that's going to be the answer. Probably some of it. I really don't know. In my mind, the only thing is that we all know Jesus, but that whatever. Um, I don't know what the answer is, and I think that's frustrating as a mom because I don't know how to stop this. And so I think on top of just covering this case and the anxiety of this kind of bringing some things, and it's I think we're all feeling a little bit panicked because we don't know how to fix it. And some of us think we do, but we don't, and we're not used to not being able to control anything, or we're not used to not being able to control things as parents, as moms. We don't like to feel out of control. And I mean, a lot of people, well, I'm going to homeschool. Okay. Like, I said that to my aunt and uncle. Well, that's great, but people were grocery shopping at Tops. I mean, it's everywhere. And I'm open to opinions. What you think is the answer? Because I don't know. I think that social media does have a really large part in this. Hey, bud, you going back over? Are you okay? I do think that people, I don't know how to describe it. I think that there's a comfortableness and anonymity online that is getting very dangerous. It's getting very dangerous. And there's groups that I know I've read about in this process where that's like an initiation to do something, to shoot a place up. That's like an initiation into a club and stuff. And look at the way we we treat each other on here. I mean, it's not very good. And it's like we take out all of our anger and frustrations and we come to the internet and we just let it all go. Because if we can hide behind a name that nobody knows us, then we don't, there's no repercussions with it. I don't know, guys. Come on, give me feedback. What do you think the answer is to this as a country? I am surprised. I will say that the little girl that used her friend's blood and everything is going to be at the House of Representatives or whatever, giving like okay, these bugs down, these gnats. I seriously hate gnats more than anything in this life. Well, not really, but we'll be at the House. Woo, hey, sloth mom, sloth. I can never say that word. Wow, it just got dark. Woo. House of Representatives talking on Wednesday. I'm surprised. That's a lot to put on a child so soon after such a trauma. But I mean, I'm not her parent. If they think she's ready, then she's ready, I guess. You know what I think, too, y'all, is I think the media, hey, Jackie, look at my hair now, it makes everything really crappy right now. And I think the media has no, like, how do I put it? So that's the thing, Vicky. It wasn't in my kids' school, and I was super upset about it for the purpose of none of my kids, they all had different explanations about what they should do in a lockdown. All were similar, but you know, when Lana was over here, she was right. We're locking them under desks, and um but what are other options? It's just the media is horrible, and I'll tell you why I think the media is horrible too. So the media can be used for good. I truly believe it can be used for good. It is, Jackie. It is, except for um, it didn't work very well for my kids when it was COVID. Um, I mean, now we're seeing it at grocery stores. We're seeing churches, an enormous amount of churches, um, and you know, there's something to be said about how easy it was for these guys to get a hold of guns. There's definitely something to be said about gun control and some of the changes that need to be made there. But, and I don't mean necessarily getting rid of everything. I just mean different. You know, an 18-year-old shouldn't be able to wander in by themselves, I don't think, and slap down $8,000 for 375 rounds of ammunition or whatever. But we've kind of watched over the last week the media. They've portrayed certain people to be so first, right? So first, the door was propped open. Okay, now I know that the police and stuff have revealed some of this stuff, you know. So the door was propped open, so everybody went hardcore after the teacher. We went hardcore, you know. Who is this teacher? She was getting death threats, all this kind of stuff. All right, well then it comes out, no, she did shut the door. So then we switch focus onto whoever else, you know, is the person that we're going to blame. And then, you know, it all looks down to the chief of police. That's who made that decision. Right or wrong, I think it's wrong. I wasn't there. But, okay, so, but he didn't, in the other side of things, he didn't know because whoever, which they haven't said, was the actual DPS officer, didn't relay any messages to him that it was active shooting, any of those 911 calls. I think it was the wrong call. Hey, Punkette, but so who's the DPS officer? And because then I see the other sides and I see people from within the community saying, this guy's been one of our biggest advocates. The chief is an amazing dude. He's friendly. He's been, and I'm going, okay, so. And then I'm seeing these little kids being interviewed after interview after interview. And I understand their parents have to approve it, but at some level, the parents themselves are so traumatized that they're just trying, you know, everything is so chaotic. And, you know, the media is kind of like vultures just swarming in. And it is, Kimberly. And it is kind of crazy. So my point with all of this is that, so we have creators that we like and we support. And we've watched how in an instant supporters can change their opinion on you. Okay. And that, I feel, is kind of like what the media does to us in some ways. Like, first we didn't like the teacher because she propped the door open. And then they switched everything and really pumped up the chief. And so now we didn't like him and he was at fault, which, you know, he, like I said, I think he made the wrong decision. But I think there's situations where they can make things a lot worse. Has anyone said why they think he did what he did? No, Vicky, I've heard several things. I've heard the phone, that it was the phone thing. I've heard that he originally intended it to be the high school. That has never been confirmed, but that was a rumor going around. I heard that that it was that his grandma found out he was going to do what he was going to do. But it seemed like so far the overall consensus has been the phone thing, based on what his grandfather said. but I know that still motive is being investigated. I do believe there's a point where a person can give themselves over to evil. I truly believe that. In my opinion, based on my faith, I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but I think that based on what people have said, and the guy that spoke out today, that was across from the funeral home, him and another guy, when he wrecked his truck, he said they went over with about 8 feet from this kid, and he was crawling out of the passenger window. And when he crawled out, they said, "Hey man, you okay? You okay?" And they said he looked up, and they said in that moment they saw a rifle. But this guy said when he looked up, it was like an evil he had never seen before in his eyes, in this kid's eyes. And he said he ran. They ran. The kids started shooting at them. The funeral home director opened the doors and they ran inside. He called his wife to give him his gun, and he went and headed for the school to go after this guy. Obviously, he was stopped and told you can't go in, stuff like that. But so I do believe that he was, I don't know, to be able to taunt. I mean, it has come out that he basically tormented these kids by the music he was playing, by the things he was saying. Like he was in a whole another realm of evil, I believe. I mean, even if you look at the Parkland shooter, like his siblings all have records, pretty significant records. Hey, Diana, there's some severe home life stuff going on. And he wants his victims' parents, from my understanding, to determine his fate. From that response, I think there is maybe a little bit of remorse, and that is not going to by any means make up for what he's done. But this kid, I don't know. Do you think there's a point, y'all, where somebody can have given themselves over to evil? Because, yeah, I don't know. Because these kids had never done anything to them, these teachers. And it's the only thing I can think about is that, because he didn't just kill them, right? He tormented them. And that based on anybody that saw him has said that he had a different look to him. It will be interesting too. I was just going to say that, Jackie. I believe they did, Jackie. I'll be interested to see if that comes back, with what that comes back. The guy that spoke out, that approached him with the other guy. Now, so we know this is a small town, right? Everybody was related to everybody somehow, some way, or at least, they were all close. A lot of them graduated from there. That's what I think, Punkat. That's what I think too. I think there is a point where you can, yeah. I hope that they research his brain. I hope that I hope they are proactive and all of that kind of stuff. So the guy that approached him with the other guy when he first crashed his truck, he said that he is also the one. He just helped bury 5 kids. He works for the funeral home, and his job was to basically lower the caskets, dig the holes and everything. He was born and raised there. He knew a lot of those kids. One of the kids was his cousin. So that was his job. So he said that was, obviously the hardest part was burying them. But where was I going with this? Oh, he said that he saw this kid shoot into classroom windows from the outside. So it is really hard, I think, to figure out completely, like I said, the whole story of where people shot from the outside too. And then, and I didn't realize until I went back and read one of the articles from when that guy McCraw back on May 28th gave his little conference where he did say that he did reappear in the hallway for a moment. So, I mean, that kind of confirms what we know. But at the end of the day, it's still really up in the air. And I don't think we're going to know until we get all the footage back. Or, I hope we get it back. I hope the real story, the truth comes out. When I talked to Rob, he said what they say happened is what happened. So, as far as, like so I need to be cognitive of remembering that, not all the families think that things were handled poorly, or they, might know more than we, whatever. We just gotta, but on the other hand, there's a lot of parents that are furious and a lot of people that are furious. And I guess we just gotta let them deal with it, how they deal with it. And we'll do what we do over here. And, I do not believe so, Vicky. I think so, Punkette. Now, I will say that I did not even know this until my kids just told me at lunch, was the windows and doors in their school, in my kids' schools in Texas, were all bulletproof and stuff like that. But, we lived in a suburb of Dallas, so it was a little more of, yeah. So I do not know if they're my kid's school, to the best of my knowledge, now is not bulletproof glass or doors. I have heard, yes, Punkette, that they've been retrieved, but I think there's a lot of questions we've talked about. If he reemerged in the hallway, then a shot should have been taken. So I don't know. There is a lot of questions, and I do think that we are all owed an answer of the real truth, because for the sake of everyone involved, because if the chief of police truly didn't know, and what we're hearing is true, that, well, we know he didn't have a radio on. I don't get that. But if DPS, we know DPS was the one who got the call from the 911 calls. And whoever that was that got those calls, we know based on, for a fact, they did not relay the information to the chief of police. What I'm not liking is that we all deserve the truth, because perhaps people that are innocent are getting blamed, like that teacher did. Now, why the door didn't lock, I don't know. Should she have made sure it locked? Absolutely. Should she have used it and propped the door open? No, probably not. Should the chief of police had made the decision to go in? Yes, absolutely. But I also think that if DPS was in the wrong too, they need to be held accountable and not throwing everybody else under the bus. A former cop, school resource officer. I'm going to pick his. Yeah, Punkette, do that. Do that. Because then there was things I read, and again, this is not confirmed. So there's another thing that I read, that when DPS got there, the chief said, do y'all want to take over? And they said, no, you got it. You're doing it so far. So something is weird and something is off. And it just, like, if you see what I'm saying, like, this guy doesn't deserve his life to be, because a lot of people have said some really nice things about him. So he doesn't deserve to have his safety and his family's safety at risk if there was things we don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, something's weird. Something's weird. Yes, Punkette, can you ask him why the chief of police for the UCISD or whatever, hey Brian, hope you're having a good day, why he was commanding officer and why they would have left him commanding officer when in that situation, and if it's standard for them to wait for so long. I mean, they did in Parkland. And in hindsight, so Rob, who had a family member that did say to me, he said, you got to understand an assault rifle. He's like, you've got to understand an AR. He said, that goes through walls. And I was like, But then I read, and it truly does. It truly goes through walls. Our schools are gated and coded, so you can't get it. Yeah, Vicky, this sounds like that is. The teacher is claiming that she even did an intercom to the office and no one responded and stuff. So, she's already, the teacher that didn't have the door locked, she's already on her lawsuit mission to the gun maker. And I'm like, wow, okay. But, whether I agree with that, doesn't matter. But I just want to know what's protocol, Punkette, basically. Like, what is proper protocol in this situation? I did not know how much power an AR had. But then, if I remember correctly, can't remember who it was, Remy maybe, that said they've cut trees down before with them. It goes through walls and stuff. So, but again, that's the oath you take. It's just, I don't know. I do not like that things on social media, such as, groups where you do this for a pledge and stuff, that nothing is being monitored, right? Like that you can say, I'm going to go do this and whatever, and we're not finding out about it till after the fact. And I understand maybe there's not a way around that, but that is alarming too, I guess. I mean, they're investigating a retired federal agent for corresponding with the Buffalo shooter, basically encouraging it and stuff. So an AR is an assault rifle. I've never seen one in person, Vicky, so I always just kind of pictured it like movies where, you just think like, you just envision like, movie, one gunshot, you barely see anything, but it's not. Apparently it can go through walls, it can cut trees down, it's a very, very high powered. It's more, to the best of my knowledge, military type weapon, but I don't know. I've not been up close to one. I do know that the grandma was hit right by her mouth on the cheekbone, and one of the family members said that if it was like 1 inch the other direction, her entire head would have been gone. Yeah. Brian, me too. I've talked to a friend of mine. She's a special ed teacher in Texas, and I actually called her here a while back, and I was like, earlier today, and I was like, I really, with this shooting and stuff, I haven't talked to her since then. As far as on the phone, I said I rethinking the teacher thing, and she was like, "Girl, I know." What'd she say? She said, "But if this eases your mind," she said that she has a bat and wasp spray, and that her and her kids will never go down without a fight. So she brought in wasp spray and a bat so that at least, So I think I think overall, if this same similar thing happened in Parkland, then we have to figure out a better plan across the board, because it's not working. And you know what, Vicky, or whoever asked it, it must not be bulletproof because that's where a couple of people were shot through a window. Yeah, Kimberly, and everyone says, well, they shouldn't be owned by people, whatever. It's none of my, it is, well, it is my business, but I just don't want to think that an 18-year-old should walk in on his birthday and say, here's $3,000, slap it out, or however much, $8,000, boom, and get that much ammunition and rifles. But he wasn't, in hindsight, where he bought them, I've heard, has already been under a lot of scrutiny to begin with. And that, I mean, it is pretty rare for somebody to even sell that amount of ammunition to him. Here or there, we're looking for a key. Yeah, Brian, it's crazy. I don't agree with what he did, but then I want to know who the officer is on the Department of Public Safety that took the call in the 911 calls and never relayed it to the chief command officer. I know that they were trying to find out who that was. To the best of my knowledge, DPS wasn't in, like, they're, yeah, they need to find out who that guy was, because no one's coming forward. And I mean, they will find out. Yeah, 18 just seems so young to just, and statistically, from what I've read, most of these shootings and whatnot are happening with kids between 18 and 21. And I mean, the Oklahoma shooter that was a few days, this past week, he just walked in that day and got one and shot up a hospital. I don't know the situation. I know there was a Philadelphia mall last night where 11 were injured and 3 were killed or something. So it's just, so we see this happen a lot of times, these copycats, that happen after the school shootings. I don't know. I would like to see the media leave the town alone for a little bit. I hope they leave the kids alone. We are going to go back to, you can't hear, Vicky. We are going to go back to, on this channel, if breaking news happens with this, we'll cover it, but also covering, some of the victims, finding out who they are, just, learning more about them in a positive way. And then also getting back into some of our missing kid cases and whatnot. There's a little boy, he's been missing since Friday at 3, I believe, in Montana, Riker. I can't remember his last name. I'll have to look it up, but we're going to look at that tomorrow. Riker is his name, red hair, blue eyes, and he hasn't been seen since apparently he was in his front lawn on Friday. We're going to talk a little bit about Alexis Gabe. She's the girl that the police believe that she is deceased. One of my mods, it's her best friend's daughter, and they believe her ex killed her. However, the ex charged the police like a week ago, I think, with a knife, and the police shot him. So now they're like, was he Izzy? Oh, Izzy, can you confirm that for me? Because that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yep, Summer and Alexis, they just are hoping now that the boyfriend that they thought killed her, somebody will come forward now and at least let her family know where she is, so they can, put her to rest if she needs to. But there's just a ton of missing cases just of recently that we need to get back to and not stop talking about this. This needs to be talked about in a positive way. And, we need to address some really bad issues and hard issues. But we can't forget to, we kind of have a mission on this channel. And, I know there's so much, I can't keep up. I am telling you, I come on this YouTube and I'm like, wait, when did they not be, they're not friends anymore? When do they not like each other? And I am so thankful that I don't know half the time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Izzy, thank you so much. Praise the Lord. Oh, that is awesome, Izzy. Thank you for checking that out. Oh, good, 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 good. Wonderful news, Izzy. Thank you. Yeah, Brian. I'm not sure if you hear at the beginning, Brian, but the one guy that confronted him and got within like 8 feet of him before he started shooting at him at the funeral home said it was an evil that he saw in his eyes, it was like an evil, 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 evil. That's so awesome. But yeah, no, the drama is so bad. I just, I just don't want any part of it. So if I only have 20 on here watching true crime all the time or talking about these kids, I'm good with it. Yeah, Vicky, that was a bit disturbing. I was pretty shocked. It was alarming to me, Vicky, because when Gabby passed away, no disrespect, hear me out. No disrespect for Gabby or her family. What happened is a complete tragedy. But creators talked and still talked nonstop about that situation. And a gunman walks in and shoots up our whole schools and kills 19 kids and 2 teachers. And we just jump on, like move on. Now, in fairness, this is a very intense topic that is not easy for everybody to talk about. I mean, I told you, like, I have to be careful too, like, because I noticed my anxiety was really bad. But yeah, it's been surprising. It's definitely been surprising. Now, I'm always lost when I get on these channels and I'm like, when did that happen? Like, what's going on? But checking convictions, I gotta be honest, checking convictions, she's a channel and she's really good. Like every day she will post people missing and where they're from and all the statistics, like the stats of the person that's missing. And she's a lot of where I get my, like, oh, I gotta, get on that. And for the creators that do talk and do drama, I mean, it is a drama community, so I get it. Like, that's just their, like, more power to them. They know it's a drama community, and they're, you can talk about whatever you want to on your channel. I just don't have thick enough skin to embrace it. Oh yeah, Vicky. I tried to get into the Depp case, and I think if I would have gotten into it from the beginning, I probably would have found it, more interesting and stuff. But then I just feel like so many people covered it, so I didn't, you know. Um, and Gabby's case was extremely tragic, and there was it was, I don't know, just it's sad we have to cover any of this, but regardless, we do have responsibilities, I think, at least for me and my channel, that we need to kind of get a hold of some of these tougher things. The, domestic violence. Wasn't the one in Iowa, the shooting in Iowa, I think, and I think it was Iowa, outside in a church parking lot. Wasn't that domestic violence related somehow? I thought it was. Because I think at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to be able to ever stop the drama on YouTube. It's YouTube. So if I can just try to focus on what I'm doing here, then that's all that matters. And I mean, in fairness, this whatever community is called a crama community, which apparently that's a thing, to crime and drama. So I don't have thick enough skin. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to like that kind of stuff. So if people kept insulting me and I had to know about it and then hit back, I'm just not very good at that. Yeah, either did I, Jackie. I feel like a friend of mine told me it was domestic violence related, if I remember correctly. Well, and you're going to see too this. It's hard because you're going to see what just happened with Alexis Gabe and her boyfriend or whatever. So he charged the police with a knife coming out and they shot him. Now, the police officer had a shield. So you're going to see some people agreed with that, some people did not agree with it. But at the same time, I'm not really in a place to say because I don't know how I'd react if somebody was charging me with a knife. So it's huge. And the statistics is, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Brian. Yeah, it's out of control. And every day it's worse. And yeah, human trafficking is at an all-time high. I mean, everywhere you read, it's really, really bad because there's so many levels to their little clubs or whatever. Like the people at the top that are running everything aren't the ones that are getting arrested. So that's the really bad part is the people that are getting arrested aren't the ones that run the show. They're just the people that do the work. And that's very terrifying. You know, Amber, one of my mods, she's not here now. She's actually on vacation with her family, but she goes and makes earrings with a place that, you know, gets girls safe and rehabilitates them out of human trafficking. And she said it's rough. A lot of those girls that come in there are 16, 15, 16, 17 years old. And it's really difficult because they are, their walls are up, right? They don't feel safe. They don't trust anyone. Hey, Taco. And it is really hard to break down those walls and get them to feel safe again and get them to trust at all. But she did just send me one girl that had gotten there when she was 15 and she's 17 now, and she's finally, you know, dealt with it safe and is going on out to live her life. But I think it's hard because in human trafficking, you don't realize the power of some of the top people. Like, you picture, like, what we're told and what actually is really different. Like, the people that are ahead of these things and running these things are probably people that you would not. Exactly, Brian Vos. Thank you. Yep. You're 100% right, Brian. It's more business suits than you'd probably ever realize. And the people that get arrested, they don't talk because, well, you know, you kind of, yeah, you're silenced. And Brian's right. And I mean, look at the ones that we know that we can all go, oh yeah, they were definitely involved, and they're still out there. It's very hard and very sad that money has and power has become so corrupt in our country. Well, in every, look at Brian said, Prince Andrew, you know, like that it's become such a corrupt world that women and children are so disposable to us. It's really sad. Because, like, the people that we should be trusting the most are often the ones that are hurting us the most. It's just weird. It's so weird. Yep. It is, Brian. Money has, yeah, has corrupted so much. And look at half the battles we have on YouTube are money related. And it's just, it is very, very, has become very, and maybe this always exists and I was just naive to it as far as money, but I feel like money and power really dictates society today. So, but I want to do a whole series on that. I'll probably get taken down from it, like on YouTube. They'll probably take me down for it, but that's all right. But anyways, all right, y'all. Well, I'm going to get outside while the weather's nice and pull some weeds. And I just wanted to say hi and see what you guys were doing and ramble on about a whole bunch of stuff. But all right, guys. Well, listen, have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you all tomorrow. I'm so glad Izzy found out for me that Riker is safe. We work our butt. Yeah. Very true, Brian. I agree. Hey, Jen. We will talk about, maybe tomorrow, you know what we'll do tomorrow. We'll talk about a couple of the actual victims, and I'll gather some things on them, and we can talk about, you know, who they were. And then we'll talk about another case. I'm glad to hear Riker was found. That is awesome. All right, you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.